What up, boomers? So I saw a video the other day about how to start with game development, and this dude said something along those lines of, if you start making game, go make simple, cause if you don't, you will fail. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Psych, you think you can tell me what to do? I'ma make my first game like a charm. First try, easy game. No problem, programming goes. Now I actually don't know how to make a game, which is kind of important when you're making a game, but let's get started. Started off by collecting some ideas. There is a game out there and I'm sure many of you know it by now, Trackmania. It's basically a time trial arcade style racing game, which is a lot of fun. So I started playing the 2020 version of it, realized I don't have any friends, and also that I suck at racing games. I looked for a mobile version of Trackmania, didn't find one, so I thought to myself, how hard can it be? So, let's get started. And when I say let's get started, I mean play Trackmania for 8 hours a day, then go to sleep, wake up the next morning, play 8 more hours of Trackmania until you fall asleep. I tried modeling a car in Cinema 4D and imported that to Unity. Actually, I was pretty proud of myself until I realized that the car looks like absolute garbage. Get that shit out of here. So instead of modeling, yoink, I textured that and came up with a name for it, which is Time Maniacs. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Made a logo and then I had to implement movement, which is pretty easy. So let's hit play. Yeah, I fixed that and was happy with it, so I went to sleep to wake up the next morning to play Trackmania for 8 hours a day, then go. Looking at the Unity asset store, I found this neat looking joystick button, attached that to my UI canvas and my car, and boom, mobile input, sort of. I added 2 buttons for forward and backward, so the steering felt a little bit more responsive and not like your mom. Then I created a main menu, which is the best main menu you could ever think of. Ever. Smash like now, boomers, so we don't have to deal with this main menu anymore. One of the most iconic movements in Trackmania is the air brake. Air braking is basically braking in air. Yeah, you're welcome. It is basically like braking air to stop the rotation of the car to land flat again and not like face down. I implemented that as well. It works. Nice. Next up, I wanted to add a countdown timer before the player was able to drive. So it's like 3, 2, 1. So I wrote a new C# script, added public void boring. After some hours, this was implemented totally by myself and not by a good friend who knows C#. Next up, the timer counting how much time has passed since the start of the run. Well, that was easy, I guess. And when I say easy, I mean, let me give you a comparison for that. This guy, yeah, that one. Hey you. Out on the streets with a trench coat selling all kinds of goodies.
What you got under there?
That's YouTube tutorials and they're linked GitHubs for me, my dudes. Yoink! Next we need to tell the player the time he drove on the map. Just give me a sec. I don't know how to do that. Maybe the sub button will help me with my problem, if you know what I mean. Bye!